Will increasing testosterone reduce gynecomastia? Absolutely it will, and in today's video, I'm going to give you everything you need to increase testosterone to reduce gynecomastia and get rid of those man boobs. If this is your first time here, my name's Ben Richardson. I'm a personal trainer. I'm also a chemical engineer, and I am here to help men reclaim their masculinity by boosting their testosterone levels through things like fitness, nutrition, and lifestyle decisions that they make. For the past few decades, testosterone levels in men has been on the decline, and it's becoming a huge problem in our society. So I am here to build a community of men who want to fix that and rise above it. So if you're interested in becoming a part of that, hit the subscribe button because I do post videos similar to this one every single week. So gynecomastia occurs primarily due to a combination of elevated estrogen levels and heightened estrogen receptor activity on top of suboptimal testosterone levels and decreased androgen receptor activity. And there are a lot of hormonal mechanisms involved, and even though I'm a huge chemistry nerd, we're not going to get too tied up into the details of all of it. So by the time you're done watching this video, you'll have a solid game plan that you can easily follow to completely reverse all of these effects so that you can get rid of those man boobs and start working towards building the upper body of a freaking Greek god. So let's go ahead and get to it. So the first thing I want to talk about is that you need to start doing exercises that build your upper chest. Now, let me take a step back for a second and tell you that one of the best ways to reduce gynecomastia is to start working out, exercising, and lifting weights. So if you're not doing any of those things right now, definitely prioritize this. Now, if you're brand new to this and you don't know where to start, don't worry, I'll cover the specifics of how to do this here in a minute, and I'll show you just how easy this really is. But you have to get it through your head that you're going to need to start building strength and hitting the gym if you want to reduce gynecomastia naturally. So with that being said, exercises like incline bench press, incline dumbbell press, flat bench press, dips and weighted dips, machine press, all these movements are all going to be lifts that you want to focus on getting stronger on. What you want to do is pick two of these movements, and only two of them. It doesn't matter which ones. I'd suggest you pick the two that you're most comfortable doing, but do each one of them one time per week on different workout days. So that is step one in this. So before I go any further, I am also going to provide a workout template down below in the description so that you have an example of what all of this looks like. You don't have to follow the workout exactly. You can just use it as a template and change it a little bit according to whatever exercises you want to do. But the overall structure of the workout is going to help you get started, so take advantage of that. Okay, so the second thing that you need to do here is rest at least an entire day between your workouts. Don't work out on back-to-back days. Take a day to rest and completely recover between your workouts. This is going to make hitting the gym consistently much easier, and it's also going to allow your muscles and your central nervous system time to properly recharge so that each and every single time that you hit the gym, you're going to go in ready to lift stronger and harder. Okay, so you've picked your two exercises and now you know how often you should be working out. The third thing you need is a proper lifting technique to get stronger on these lifts so that you can build strength and muscle in your upper body to reduce gynecomastia. So let me talk a little bit about reverse pyramid training. Reverse pyramid training is a lifting technique where you do your heavy set first while your body is still fresh, and then you make the following sets easier by reducing the amount of weight that you do. Now you want to lift this way because to get stronger, you have to lift around the threshold of your strength potential. And doing your heavy set while your body is still fresh is going to enable you to do this. Now you still need to make sure that you warm up a little bit before jumping right into your heavy set, because not warming up and priming your muscles, that's a good way to get yourself injured. You don't want that. So let's just go over an example of what this might look like. Let's use the example of incline bench press. Your first few sets are going to be relatively light sets where you do a few reps to get your muscles warmed up to lift heavy. You're going to increase the weight a little bit with each set, but none of these warm-up sets should be ridiculously difficult or taxing on your body. You want to warm up to prevent injury, but you still want to preserve your energy to pour out into your heavy set. So after you do your warm-up sets, you'll rest for 3 or 4 minutes and then increase the weight by quite a bit to where you can do about 5 or 6 reps. This is your heavy set, and you should be pushing your body as hard as you can here. What you don't want to do here is increase the weight so much that you can't do 5 or 6 reps. This is not a 1 rep max set. This is a heavy set that you can still do 5 or 6 reps. Doing a 1 rep max set, that is how you get yourself injured, so don't do that here. Then after your heavy set, rest another 3 or 4 minutes, take some weight off, and then do about 7 or 8 reps with that lighter weight. Then after this medium set, do the same thing one more time, lighten the weight a little bit, rest 3 or 4 minutes, and do about 9 to 10 reps. This is reverse pyramid training. Now, if you just heard all of that and you're super confused and it totally went over your head, refer to the workout template below in the description. You'll see exactly what you need to do from there. Okay, so that covers the training part of how to increase testosterone to reduce gynecomastia. Maybe this has felt like a workout training video so far, but you gotta understand that that is an important part of the equation. So the second important part of the equation is nutrition. So let's talk a little bit about this one. What I recommend that you do is start tracking the foods that you eat using the MyFitnessPal app. Now, why do you need to do this? Because you want to reduce the amount of excess body fat that you're carrying to reduce gynecomastia. Lowering body fat is also going to naturally increase testosterone levels. To lose body fat, you have to track the foods that you eat, just like you would stick to a budget if you wanted to get a hold of your finances. You have to do this because you need to eat fewer calories than your body burns to lose body fat. There's no way around this. So to figure out how many calories that is, you have to know about how many calories your body needs just to maintain your weight. This is also referred to as your quote-unquote maintenance calories. Now you can do a quick Google search on a maintenance calorie calculator to get this number. Most of them are going to ask for your age, your weight, your gender, your height, and your activity level. Just punch all of that information into the calculator and it'll spit out a number for you. Once you have that, you want to eat anywhere between 500 to 800 calories less than that number. Now earlier I mentioned the MyFitnessPal app. Let me go ahead and show you how to use MyFitnessPal to set all of this up absolutely for free. Hey everyone, so this is a quick training video on how to effectively use the MyFitnessPal app. I'm going to be really quick, but I just want to give you guys everything that you need to have success with this. So as of 2023, this is what the app looks like when you first open it up and create an account and everything. The main place that you're going to want to be is over here in your diary, where you're going to log breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks and that stuff. So over here in the more section, this is where you're going to set up your calorie goals. So you're going to go to goals here, and you're going to go to calorie, carbs, protein, and fat goals. This is where you can set your calories and your macronutrient split. And I have a whole video on a good macronutrient split for optimal testosterone levels if you want to check that out once you're done watching this video, but I'm not going to get too into that. The main thing you want to pay attention to is the calories. So I just mentioned you want to use a maintenance calorie calculator online. This is about my maintenance calories. It's kind of a ballpark number. This is based on my age, my gender, my weight, my activity level, all those sorts of things. This is about maintenance calories for me. So make sure you check that out and get about what a ballpark number this is going to be. And remember, I said you want to eat 500 to 800 calories fewer than this number. So right here, this is my maintenance calories. And let's say I want to eat in a 500 calorie deficit, so I'm going to eat 2,000 calories. Or maybe I want to eat in a 800 calorie deficit, then I would eat 1,700 calories. So that's kind of the general idea of how you're going to set this up. you'll take your maintenance calories and then you're going to subtract 500 to 800 calories from your maintenance calories, and that is going to set you up to be in a solid calorie deficit. And I want you to eat in that range. Don't eat way fewer calories, because if you eat like 1200 to 1500 calories, that's just going to make you so hungry that you're going to be miserable. You want to eat enough food, especially if you're going to start working out and using that workout template that I showed you earlier. So you need to fuel your body with enough energy to get stronger on your lifts and still build muscle. So it is actually very important that you eat enough food. I know it's tempting to think that you can make quicker progress if you cut your calories like 1,000 calories down from maintenance. No, stick to the 500 to 800 calories fewer than maintenance calories, and that really is the sweet spot for optimal fat loss. So that's where you're going to set everything up. And then over here in the diary, I'll show you how to log some food real quick. So I'm normally not a breakfast eater. I stay on intermittent fasting. I just find it helpful. I have plenty of videos on the testosterone benefits of intermittent fasting, but I don't really eat breakfast. That's kind of the point. And I'm just going to log what a pretty typical lunch looks for me. So I like cottage cheese, low-fat cottage cheese right here, 2% milk-fat cottage cheese. I'll eat the whole container. That's about 320 calories. And then a banana. Let's just say I have a banana. Bam, I log that. And an apple. I can log that too. Let me show you something that I probably don't have already preloaded in here, because I eat these three foods very often and they're kind of already queued up for me, which is kind of cool because MyFitnessPal kind of learns a lot of the foods that you eat and it keeps it in its memory bank, so it's really easy to find. But let's say I went to McDonald's for lunch or something and I had a double quarter pounder. There you go, double quarter pounder hamburger from McDonald's. And yeah, the calories vary quite a bit. This one right here, the 651, this one or this one here. Yeah, this one sounds right. This one right here. That seems about right. I mean, it's high in fat, it's got some protein, it's got some carbs. So there's an example of a food that I don't necessarily eat a lot, but I can still log that just by searching in the app. Now, MyFitnessPal did recently change that you can't scan barcodes anymore unless you pay for the app, which kind of sucks. That's kind of unfortunate because that was kind of a nice feature, but you can still find any food in here if you just go in, add food, and search for it. See right here, scan a barcode. You can use that to scan barcodes and stuff, but you can't do that anymore, at least using the free version of it. And I'm all about free. I don't know about you guys. So this is how you use it for free. This is going to help you just get a ballpark idea of how many calories that you're taking in, and it is going to ensure that you are eating in a calorie deficit. That is the only way that you can lose fat. One last thing I want to mention is that you can add me as a friend on MyFitnessPal. And if you do that, you can actually go to my food diary and see what my diet looks like. My diary is set up so that anyone who adds me as a friend can see what I eat. So definitely take advantage of that if you think it would help. I'm happy to support you fellas in any way that I can to help you reduce gynecomastia and get rid of those man boobs naturally. Alright, so now you know how to start training to increase testosterone and reduce gynecomastia, and you have a simple game plan to follow as far as nutrition goes. I could stop here if I wanted to because I've given you a lot already, but I want to talk about a few extra things that you can do to accelerate your results. Another thing you can do is to start walking more. Now, walking, in my opinion, is one of the most effective and also underrated forms of cardio out there. Anyone can do it, it's not stressful or daunting on your body, and it's not going to increase your appetite. So getting about 10,000 steps on days that you don't work out, that's a great way to burn a few hundred extra calories without draining your energy levels. muscles. And that's really going to speed up your weight loss efforts. And another reason that I think walking is great is that it just gets blood flowing throughout your body, which is going to increase nutrient delivery to those damaged muscle tissues from your strength training sessions. So walking is also very beneficial for recovery. So start walking more and start moving around in general throughout the day. It's really going to help you here. I'd also encourage you to try intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting does increase androgen receptor responsiveness to steroid hormones such as testosterone. Now, the reason this is really cool is because increasing the sensitivity of androgen receptors to testosterone, that's going to make it easier to build strength and muscle, especially in your upper body. And as a man, you have the highest density of androgen receptors in your upper body, and you also have a lot of potential to increase androgen receptor density in areas like your chest, your shoulders, your arms, your upper back, and your traps. And doing that is going to reduce gynecomastia very effectively. So I definitely encourage you to check out my video on how to increase androgen receptors to build a massive upper body. You can check it out up there after you're done watching this one, but anyway, back to intermittent fasting. There was a Swedish study done that showed that intermittent fasting can increase androgen receptor responsiveness to testosterone by up to 180%. So pretty cool stuff. Then that same group of researchers also conducted another study that showed that testosterone levels not only increase, but stay elevated for 5 days after their subjects fasted for 10 days long, which is a pretty intense fast, so I don't recommend that you do things that way, but it does illustrate the testosterone response to fasting for an extended period of time and then breaking that fast. Intermittent fasting also enhances human growth hormone secretion, and growth hormone works synergistically with testosterone to improve overall body composition. That means you're going to lose body fat and build muscle more easily, so you definitely want to be taking advantage of this boost in growth hormone that intermittent fasting does provide. The easiest way to implement intermittent fasting into your routine is to just skip breakfast in the morning. Eat lunch and dinner like you normally do. You can sip on 0-calorie beverages in the morning while you're fasted, and I'd actually recommend that you do that because they can effectively blunt your hunger. Also, you don't need to get super caught up in how long your fasting window is. It doesn't need to be an exact 14 or 16 hours. Just skip breakfast in the morning, sip on some kind of 0-calorie drink, and break your fast around lunchtime. Stack this on top of tracking your foods in MyFitnessPal, and getting leaner is going to feel like a freaking walk in the park. Now lastly, I want to talk about a relatively cheap and effective supplement that you can take advantage of, and it's called mucunapurians. So mucunapurians have a compound in them called levodopa, which is a naturally occurring amino acid that is a direct precursor to the neurotransmitter dopamine, which we're all familiar with. Mucunapurians has been shown to significantly increase sperm volume in infertile subjects, reduce cortisol levels and oxidative damage, boost dopamine production, increase testosterone levels, and stimulate androgen receptor activity. All of these are going to effectively increase testosterone to reduce gynecomastia, so this is some pretty great stuff to be taking. So remember that compound that I mentioned earlier called levodopa? Well, it turns out that mucunapurians are the richest source of levodopa on the planet, and levodopa is readily converted into dopamine. And it is well documented in the literature that heightened dopamine can accomplish many of the benefits that I previously mentioned. And furthermore, mucunapurians are also rich in antioxidants, which gives rise to the improvement in sperm quality, especially in infertile men. Now, one last thing that I do want to share about my personal experience taking mucunapurians is that I'll have some pretty cool dreams when I take them about an hour before I go to bed. I've had some pretty crazy lucid dreams and even some pretty intense dirty dreams too, so that's just something that I noticed when I started taking them. So give this supplement a shot. I take the ones made by a company called BOOBS. I'm not sponsored by them or anything, I just think they're a solid, great company and they make good products based on solid science. There are plenty of other companies that make mucunapurians also, but I'm happy to recommend that one in particular. So there you go, a handful of tips to increase testosterone to reduce gynecomastia. If you implement every single one of these tips at the same time, you are going to get not only the best, but the fastest results from them. So take these tips very seriously. Watch this video again if you have to. I know I talked about a lot, but go through the workout template and take some time to study the structure of the workout. Start logging the foods that you eat in MyFitnessPal every single day. And lastly, give some of those bonus tips a shot and you will be well on your way to increasing testosterone to reduce gynecomastia. So that's all for this video. If you liked it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And again, if you're new here and you've made it this far, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. I'm looking to build a community of men who want to transform their lives like I did by boosting their testosterone levels naturally. Because modern men just don't pay close enough attention to their testosterone health. And it really is becoming a huge problem in our world. So if you want to do something about that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and turn the notification bells on too, so that you don't miss out on any of my latest content. If you made it to the end, I do appreciate your support, and I hope you got a lot out of this video too. So good luck in increasing your testosterone to reduce gynecomastia and get rid of those man boobs. Thanks for watching, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.